And we're recording. What's up, everybody? My name is Kay Leon,
What's up, everybody? My name is Tajan.
and welcome to our podcast.
Our first ever episode of Tay and Kay.
Yeah,
Wow, we're really doing this. Okay,
it's
cool.
cool, Steve.
So, first and foremost, before we begin, we want to shout out our sponsor for today's podcast, which is Elegantly Melanated. Elegantly Melanated is a Black owned brand.
Ow.
It is skincare, treats, and we even have trinkets. So, we'll definitely input their information into that so you guys can go follow them, go check them out. Reasonable prices. They ship all over the United States. So once again, thanks for them for sponsoring today's podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's just jump right on in it. Oh, so today's topic, and we may even go off of that, like because we talk too much. First topic
Yeah.
that we're going off of is what is the last thing that made you smile? And I will go first. First thing that made me smile, well, one thing that recently made me smile was my nephew, the
Oh,
baby. Yeah, it's just watching him grow. Like it's been really it's been a real like life-changing thing. Like he's not mine, but to watch this kid go from being this big to now walking and climbing up shit, and now he's trying to talk. So it's like, damn, like I'm really watching this kid grow into uh, a young man. Like
yeah.
he's coming from like a baby getting into his toddler shit. Next, he's gonna be like 6 in the blink of an eye, and it's just gonna be like, God damn, like, fuck,
Yeah. He's getting big
getting real big,
and bougie.
getting real bougie. My baby
Yeah.
ain't even drinking Starbucks, and said,
Right.
oh, bro, drinking Thai teas now.
Oh Lord, he is about to be. Ooh, any lady who has him in the future, they need to have their A game already set up. They can't come to him slacking. They need to be on their grind.
Right, it's him.
I told you he needs to go get him somebody real successful, somebody in the military at a good rank. They need to take care of him.
This shit, nah, it need to be equal. They need to match each other's fly.
That is true.
One person just can't be lacking. It's like you got to match that fly.
That is true. And he's definitely gonna be on his game. So they gotta match his equal.
Right.
Jesus. But that's a good one. I agree with that though. He definitely is a blessing and he don't even know it yet. He's a huge blessing considering the circumstances.
Big blessing.
He didn't change everybody's life for a positive. He
Right.
filled that void that everybody was feeling. So that's a real good one. I guess it's my turn now. So this was a real hard topic for me. I feel like, you know, when you think of something that makes you smile, it's like related to happiness or something sort of that. And recently I've been able to find peace with myself, but mentally I feel like I haven't, it's been hard. You know what I mean? I've been happy, but it's definitely been hard. But I thought about it for a while. And I think that through all my down times that I've had in my life, I feel like the one thing that it's a lot of things that make me smile, but one thing that consistently makes me smile is just knowing who I have around me. Meaning, I'm blessed to have you. I've never had a friend this long, and we've grown from just being friends to like family. I consider everybody in your family my family. So that's definitely a blessing in disguise. It really is. Like you came in my life for the better, and I genuinely appreciate that. Another thing is just another person I'm blessed to have besides my mom, because that's obvious, but is my wife, is Tiara. I feel like she definitely came in a moment where I was really low in life, and every relationship has their ups and downs, but we definitely have more ups and downs. I feel like I always say to her, and nobody's perfect, but knowing that I have strong people behind me who I know I can come when I'm mad, sad, happy, or whatever emotion. I think that that's one thing that genuinely makes me smile the most, because not a lot of people have that.
Right.
And so it's like you realize it, and that's something that we shouldn't take for granted. When somebody's brought into our life, they're brought for a reason, for a purpose. And the people I have behind me are here for a reason and a purpose. So I think that I could really say that confidently.
Shit. Yeah, shit, I'm just going off of that. But shit, that's crazy too, because like what? It's been like 10 going on 11 years plus.
I think it'll be like 12 years this year.
12. That's even longer. Like
Sheesh.
shit, like you said, this is like well, you and some other people that we know. Like
Mhm.
y'all like the longest friendships that I have had. Well, one one before you, and then in Kevin is just like me and KD brother. So
Mhm.
like that's like this, like it's crazy, like it's still people that sticks around, and you can really tell who's gonna be around for a long time. Like you can really tell. Shit, I knew you was stuck with me. I told you from gate. I'm like,
Yeah, you
you
told me
stuck,
from day one that I was stuck with you. There
stuck
was no
with
getting rid
me.
of that.
You stuck with me. And it was just like, oh well, you stuck with me too. And it was just like, well, yeah, we stuck with each other.
I done tried to send my papers, y'all. I done tried to send in papers, and he just keep not signing the papers.
Shit. She knows she don't want to go nowhere.
I cannot get rid of your ass.
Nigga know for a good week and a half, not even a week. Shit, we talk like if not every day, every other day.
It's every other day. And I feel like we've been friends for so long now, to where it's like, if we don't talk consistently for a few days, it's like somebody will call or text somebody, but then the other person will always say, I was just about to call you, or something like
Exactly.
that. And I'd be like, I haven't talked to Munchie in a long time. Let me call him. Like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Right. Shit.
Ooh.
Man. And then it's like you get on the phone. Shit. But if we haven't talked in a while, it's like it's not even like that. It's like we've never skipped this, never skipped a beat. It's just like
Never.
boom, just jump right back on it. And it's like it's like okay, nigga. Like I know you good. I know you good.
Like, it's a genuine, you have to have a genuine connection with somebody, to where we've never gone like months on end without talking to each other. But, it's different from being at school with each other for 4 years, seeing each other every day, to
Being adults with
being
jobs.
adults with jobs and with cars, and still being able to see each other in person consistently. And then life hits, and then, you don't see that person as much, but we never miss a beat.
Right.
Never. I feel like we've never missed a beat. We've never even had any like major fallouts, considering some of the people who, we were close to before. We don't even talk to them now. And they were close.
Hell, like it was like a group of us.
It was a group of us. And I can't tell you the last time I talked to any of those people. Like actual conversation. It's been a minute.
I've talked to one. I've talked to one out of the bunch.
I've talked to one out of our little group. I know you know who I'm talking about because I said she, but it's like a special occasion, or if somebody posts a cute picture type thing, but not an actual conversation. It's like a here and there type thing.
Hmm.
But even with her, I thought she was going to be around for a long time. And not saying that anything happened negatively. Life just happens. You grow apart with people. But the fact that we've been consistent with it, it's crazy.
Super consistent.
It's crazy. And the fact that our families have taken each one of us in,
Right.
like with no negativity, no hesitation, like you just came in. I remember, I think when you first came around my family, it was for that one time on my birthday. We went to
Mhm.
Benihana.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like you was just there. Like nobody was picking on you or nothing. It was like you've been there forever. So I mean, hey, everybody knows who Munchie is.
Hand that down there. Hand that down there.
Like we didn't been through a lot together, but we've never had a negative falling out. It may be some moments where we'd be like, oh, I can't stand, you know what I mean? But like,
I can't stand your black ass.
yeah, but nothing like that. Nothing crazy.
So, shit. And even if we did, I feel like both of us are mature enough to admit, like, okay,
Hmm.
I know where I was wrong. I apologize for my half. Like,
Yeah.
it's a mutual respect there.
Hmm.
And it's just like, I respect you as much as you respect me. Like, I'm not gonna waste your time. You're not gonna waste my time. I'm, you're gonna love me the same way that I love you, and I don't
Yeah.
have to question that shit.
Yeah.
It was like when I say it, like it's like out of all of my friends, I out of all of my friends that become family, I know for a fact if I was to call you, you'll pick up no matter what the situation is. If you don't have it, you gonna help me figure out how to get it, and that's likewise.
Hmm. I
So
feel like you have to have that with somebody though.
yeah,
And what people don't realize is that you don't have to have that with somebody who you want to be in a relationship with.
right,
You can have that connection and that relationship with people who are just friends.
right,
I remember for a long time everybody was always asking if we were together. And you can have a genuine connection and a genuine love for somebody and be the best of friends.
exactly.
And that's a blessing as well. You know, we didn't been through so many life events together that it's crazy. So many. We didn't been through some emotional moments, some happy moments, some almost didn't graduate moments. So
Some I beat a bitch up moments.
we didn't been through
Those.
we didn't been through a lot of those moments. And I want to say it's almost been 12 years. And within those 12 years, for us to still have this connection, for us to still be able to pick up the phone and just talk for hours,
Hours.
hours. That's something that a lot of people wish for it just in a relationship, but you got to be willing to have that in a friendship as well.
That part.
It is off topic. We did go off topic, but we talking now. So I'm gonna say I talk a lot with my wife about us, about me and you, because you know everybody in life goes through their own ups and downs. It's always going to be different than somebody else. You may be able to relate, but it's always going to be different because everybody is their own individual person.
Right.
And the fact that I have somebody to call outside of my mom or like that type of family, she doesn't have necessarily. And so we talk about it a lot because she's a person who has been treated really bad by friends and exes in her life. And it's sad to see. And
Mm.
I always tell her, like, my family is your family and you're included in that. But for me having it with you and then to see her, try to be cool to people, but people still just treat her like nothing, it's sad to see. And it's like a realization that a lot of people don't have that.
Right.
And it makes you want to be there. It makes me want to be there for her. But at the same time, I have to understand that it's going to be moments where she may not, feel comfortable talking to me, but she doesn't have that person to talk to except for her therapist. You know what I mean? She doesn't have a friend to call and pick up the phone. She has her parents to pick up the phone, but sometimes what if she's not comfortable to talk to them? Then she just holds it in.
Right.
And with that, for people who are in relationships like that, you start to think, well, how can I be that friend for you? You know what I mean? Not just your spouse or your partner, but that friend for you. And it's hard, it's not easy because you have to kind of separate being that partner or that spouse to being that friend that they need.
Yeah.
Because what if the problem is with you?
Right.
What if it's something that you did? Then they don't want to tell you because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Right.
But who else are they going to talk to?
That's shit. That's a real question because I don't know. Like out like throughout life, I've run into people that I felt like would be friends for a while, not like me and you, but for a while. Like people come into your life and they serve their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So she hasn't found what she has. Like she has to find, she pretty much got to find her tribe. But in order for her to find somebody like me and you found each other at school.
Mm-hmm.
But we were grown, we grew together.
Mm-hmm.
Like she gotta find that one friend that is willing to grow like as a person and like mentally. Like she gotta find that person that's willing to do it. And it's like all bullshit aside, it's gonna take some time. It will take some time to find somebody that's not trying to fuck you
Mm-hmm.
or or fuck you over. So
Yeah.
it takes a while because you have to weed out all of the bad people that
Yeah.
that are really around you for self-serving reasons. So shit, best thing she could do is just work on her by herself because
Mm-hmm.
when you work on your from what I've learned throughout life, when you work on yourself and you learn how to love yourself and other people, the people that you need will fall in and they'll just elevate you.
I
So
agree.
that's that's the only way. So I mean that relationship that she looking for, it honestly starts with self.
Mm-hmm.
And then them other relationships fall in so many words. I said all of that to say that.
But it's agreeable though. Self work is something that I think that everybody needs to do at some point, whether you are at your happiest or you're at your lowest.
Right.
Self work is gonna allow a lot of things to come to you, and with that, you know, a lot of people, you may never find that one genuine friend who's going to stick around for years upon years upon years.
Right.
That's okay. Nobody, it's not a rule book to how you live your life. Everybody's life is going to be different.
Right.
Is if as long as you are okay with yourself and you're happy with yourself and you're happy with the people who are around you,
Right.
then I believe that you don't need temporary people. You need people who are going to be here permanently.
That part.
And so it's like if you never find that one friend who's going to be around, that's okay because you have people behind you who are going to be there for you regardless. Like I always tell her, you always have your mom and your dad, you have your siblings, you have me, you have my mom, my family, Munchie, his family, because y'all are my family. You
Right.
have people behind you who are going to be here for you no matter what. We're coming up on what, it'll be 2 years this May that we've known each other. In December, it'll be our second anniversary. I told her she's who I want to be with for the rest of my life because I have that connection with her. I feel like that's my soulmate. Yes, we have our ups and downs because every relationship does.
Hmm.
But regardless, you still have people behind you no matter what. And when it comes to friendships and relationships, do I consider her one of my other best friends? Yeah, that's my wife. That's I'm gonna be her ride or die. She's gonna be my ride or die, just like I'm your ride or die. You know what I mean? But you also have to, if you're in a relationship, I feel it's important for you to have that friendship as well. Because if it's times, like I said, where she may never have that genuine friend, at least she knows, or at least they know that they have a friend in you
That part.
and they feel comfortable talking to you. And another thing I feel like comes into that is communication. I feel like this generation lacks communication a lot.
For real.
I really do. I know I'm only 23 or 24,
See, that's why we ahead of our time.
but I feel like one of the other reasons I feel like we get along is because we both have old souls.
That part.
So I feel like this generation, our generation, the generation after us, I feel like communication is something that is always lost. It's always done on social media. It's always done over text message. It's never a true face-to-face conversation. Things don't get said.
We in a generation now to where you could pick up this little thing right here, and it's just like a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah.
FaceTime, you got Uvo, what, Skype,
Skype, Zoom,
all of that.
all of this. And people, and I understand we're in a pandemic right now, so some people, still may be inside their homes. I get it. But when you have to have a serious conversation with somebody and you're able to have it with them face to face, that's how it needs to be done. You both need to be listening. You both need to be understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You both need to realize that you're going to have your opinions on a subject, and sometimes you may have to agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important that you have communication, because if you don't have communication, that's like not having trust.
Right.
I,
Y'all, excuse the baby in the background.
I feel like with communication, everything else comes. And it's like if you have great communication, you're going to have more happier moments because you can talk. There's going to be trust behind that. There's going to be, loyalty behind that. You're never going to have to question anything. Somebody who's an overthinker like myself, I think a lot about the what ifs all the time. That's just what I do every day. My mind is always running. But if I'm communicating with somebody,
You just hear this haywire just going outside. Like
good child. If I'm communicating with somebody, I want them to know that I'm an understanding person. I know that people are going to have their different opinions about stuff. Hell, once again, I'm going to use my wife as an example because as who I live with, we can get into arguments about why the mayo was on the top shelf and it's supposed to be on the bottom shelf. Hell, it can go from as simple as us just moving it to a whole goddamn argument that just went left. Why? Because we're hard-headed. Okay, that's why. We're both stubborn. She's a Scorpio, I'm a Pisces. Okay, I'm a very emotional creature. But it could have been solved just as simple as, babe, I'm sorry. I didn't know you wanted it like that. I'll move it. Or, babe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. Maybe we can leave it right there. Or maybe we can try that out. That's it. That's it. But because we lack communication in this generation, and because this generation seems to have gone through a lot in their past, and we still are, there's still a lot going on in the world, everybody has a wall up.
That yeah, but you see, and that's that wall. That wall is mostly, a lot of people really don't experience like relationships for themselves now. They go off of what other people have experienced. And I'm not saying like that's wrong, but what they don't really realize that what they have to do, yes, you can go off of someone else's experience, but you take bits and pieces of that information from somebody's relationship and you see if it works for yours or if that's even going on in your relationship. People just jump to conclusions like, oh, this person acts just like that person that such and such was messing with. So now it's like, damn, you didn't even get that relationship a chance. You just have a wall up.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna go back to what she was saying. It was on the tip of my damn tongue. Fuck, what was I getting ready to say? Okay, in so many words, when you communicate with somebody, you have to communicate with somebody that is willing to compromise. Compromising in any relationship is really what's going to help that relationship, because it's a lot of stuff that one person in a relationship may not agree with or want to do, while the other person is like, hey, I'll try anything that you want to do, or I'm gonna listen to whatever you have to say as long as you're willing to do that for me. Because okay, for example, I'm single. Chick, I haven't dated in since last year, like sometime last year, or like the middle of last year towards the ending. I have not entertained anybody. Well, mm, I'm lying. Uh, I'm entertaining someone now. Let me not say that. I'm gonna get in trouble. um, see,
The tea is piping hot.
disrespect all
Damn.
that. I'm entertaining somebody now, and what I can say is she knows how to compromise. Like she ain't perfect. I'm
Hmm.
not perfect, man, but it's like we're meeting each other in the middle, and that's all you can really ask for in a person is communicate with me, compromise, because I'm not a person to that. Oh, it has to be my way or it's not gonna work. Before, I'm not gonna lie, it was you said follow my lead, but that's where I realized like I was wrong. In a relationship, any relationship, you have to follow each other's lead because shit, yeah, I may not be 100% there one day, and I may have to follow somebody else's lead. Like I'm having a bad day. Like I really don't feel like talking, and I'm slacking. You know, baby, come in. Hey, say I ain't talk to you. Blah 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 blah. Like what's going on? You still have to have that understanding that you still have to communicate that. Like, hey, my bad, or I wasn't feeling it today. Like my mind messed up. I was like, I'm gonna try tomorrow. Compromise because it's just not you dealing with you. You're dealing with another person and their feelings.
Right. That's very important in any relationship, friendship, marriage, just dating. It's important. You're dealing with a whole another human being. That human being has emotions just like you do. And sometimes what people go through in their life, it makes them a little more tougher or harder than what they probably were before that time happened.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And you also have to be understanding of that sometimes, you may have to pick up the slack in a relationship. You got to understand that both people coming in are going to have their baggage, regardless of what it is. Everybody has been through something, and if they haven't been through it yet, they may go through it.
Right.
But in being in a relationship, in any relationship, you got to understand that sometimes you got to pick up that slack and just go about your day. You can't, in relationships specifically, you're coming together and you're trying to become one. You got to know what you're getting yourself into. You got
Right.
to know that sometimes on whatever level, the other person may not be there with you at that level.
Right.
I can honestly say, being honest, that a lot of the things that I always hear about relationships or marriages specifically is there are certain things that are going to cause a little bit of tension in your relationship, and
Right.
that's finances is what I always hear. Communication is a big one to me, and trust is another one. A lot of those things, you know, if there's a person lacking in that, then that other person is going to feel a type of way, not realizing that they have to understand what's going on with their partner. If you are making more money or whatever than your partner, don't I can't say don't because everybody reacts differently, but you guys got to come to some level of where you can communicate about what both of you can do to be able to fix that situation. Communication is something that could probably fix everything. You got
Yeah.
to be understanding. You got to communicate. Sometimes you're going to be pissed the fuck off, but you also have to understand that even if your anger is up here and your partner or whoever is feeling real low, that maybe you got to suck that up in that moment. Maybe that moment isn't the best time to display that, because regardless, that's your partner, that's
Right.
your friend, that's your spouse,
Right.
that's your girlfriend, boyfriend, or whoever. And in that down moment, if it's just you two, they're not looking for you to yell at them or get on them or whatever, argue with you. They're looking for that person who they know they can comfort in. They're looking for that. If I get into it with my wife and about something that I don't know, because let's say she's helping me manage my money, right? She's pretty essentially saving my money, you know what I mean, for me, so that way whenever I'm able to do it on my own, because I have a spending problem, I'm not gonna lie on that. But when Amazon is my best friend, let me tell you. so
Yeah.
so she's helping me manage my money, you know what I mean? But if there's a day that I slip up and I know I have this amount, say if she gives me a certain amount of money, and I know that's for me to get gas for my car, that's for me to, spend on what I need and not what I want. And I go out here and buy something that I want, I fuck around, don't have gas money. Now I gotta come to her and be like, I don't have gas like money for gas. Can you send me whatever amount for gas? And she's gonna be like, well, where'd your gas money go? Then that's gonna turn into a whole argument. Then in that moment, I'm gonna be looking for her to be like comforting or understanding, but it's hard sometimes. And vice versa. She could do something, and I could be like, what the fuck happened? But that's not what she's looking for. In that moment, she's looking for somebody to comfort her. She's looking for that person to be there for her. And a lot of people, and I had to realize this, especially with her, you got to give that person their time to calm down.
Hmm.
Because if you don't, then you're not going to have that good communication.
Right.
You got to let that person relax themselves. Sometimes it may take a minute, it may take an hour, it may take a whole day. And of course, nobody wants to, when you love somebody and you care about somebody, you don't want to have that tension go on for a long time. You want to fix it.
Right.
But sometimes, because of what that person has been through and that emotional wall that they have up, sometimes it's a little harder for people to do that right away.
Right.
We both come from, I'm not gonna lie, her growing up and what she's been through was way more intense than what I've been through. You know what I mean? She had some real life or death situations. I've never experienced life or death in my life, but I've experienced death a lot in family. I've been depressed. I'd have anxiety. I didn't been mentally like just gone out of the world. Sometimes I didn't even feel like I was here. But I can't, but taking that, again, going back to what I said originally, I'm glad that I had people around me who, at that moment were there when I needed them. And then when everything calmed down, then they come at me and say, this is what you need to do, or this is what needs to be done.
Right.
In so many words is what I was trying to say. You got to understand that you're dealing with a whole other person. So when you see them down and about, you don't take that time to criticize them or jump on them or make them feel lower than what they already are. You take that time to comfort them. And then you go back and say, okay, so this is what needs to happen, A, B, C, D. And then with that, it's also going to help with the communication and the trust.
Right.
Now I feel like I can trust you to be there for me when I need you to be there for me. And now I know that we can have good communication about how we can fix things. And it's as simple as that.
Communicate. Communication. I feel like it really like it starts in your home. Like your parents teach you, like they install that.
Hmm.
Because when when I was little, I, I well I'm gonna be completely honest. When I was little, and I still am. I'm a horrible liar. So I didn't have an option to to lie because my mom and my dad knew when I was lying. So instead of lying, yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. And that's truth is one big thing about communication. That's taught. Like, one, you have to be open and willing to hear what somebody has to say, whether you like it or not. Like that, you got to be open and willing. My mom and my dad taught me that I may not like what a person or people have to say, but they're entitled to their feelings and their opinion. As am I. I am entitled to my feelings and my opinion. Now, what a lot of people don't a lot of people don't believe that it's my opinion and it's my feeling, and I don't give a fuck how you feel. A lot of people are not like that. They're not open enough to listen or even feel what the other person is feeling, because it's we're in a self-serving time. It's like, if it's not about me, it really don't fucking matter. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a pro, but it's a con as well, because I mean, yeah, it's okay to be serving in certain situations, but at
Right.
the same time, in life, you're going to run across people that are meant to be in your life, and that's your team. That's low key your foundation of how you can really build some big shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like those people that you're not communicating right with, because you're already like you're adjusted to a certain way, because you weren't taught those communication skills. Like
Right.
you're like a lot of people go off of what they see in, because a lot of people weren't taught the things that we were taught. And I thank God
Mm-hmm.
every day for my mom and my dad, because I really am. I'm older than what my age really is, because they've installed in me things that I needed to be a man or an adult. Like I was learning this shit when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, and you know what? I won't even. No, I'm still saying it. Communication is taught, but at the same time, if you feel like you're not communicating right as an adult, it's up to you to take them steps to learn how to properly communicate with people, because a lot of people don't know how to communicate till this day. But I know some people that's like, I know my communication is fucked up, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the steps to learn how to communicate better. It all starts with listening,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't know how to listen, and it's hard for a lot of people to listen, because it's just like, I really don't want to hear what the fuck you got to say, because it don't matter to me. Is in what matters is what I'm getting ready to say, and people
Right.
fail to realize it. It's important to hear everybody.
You have to.
Like
It's very
everybody
important.
has to be heard,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody listens.
They
Nobody
do.
listens now.
They don't listen. And you're right. It's the world we live in now. It's so easy to search something up if you want to know how to do it. You can go on YouTube and search up how to build a whole entire house, and they'll show you step by step. So you know you can go on YouTube or Google or something to search up how to have better communication. It's something that is taught, but you can also take the steps to learn it as well. And you're right, listening does start with that, because it's going to be a lot of times where you don't want to hear what the fuck anybody has to say. And while that it's not okay, but it's okay because that's how you feel, it's not going to get you anywhere to where you have better communication with somebody. You have to listen to that other person. And you people fail to realize how important that is. You have to listen. So I don't know. I feel like, it's hard, but I really feel like if people were to actually sit down with somebody and listen to what they genuinely have to say without now you have to do that without getting sensitive. You got to do that without thinking that they're coming at you. You got to be there to genuinely listen to what that person has to say, especially if it's geared towards you. Because if it's geared towards you, it's going to be some, but also see with communication, you have to understand what words you can and can't use with somebody.
Right,
And that goes a lot with somebody listening. If I
right,
was to talk to somebody and I say something in a tone of voice or with certain words that can be taken offensively, then that's how they're going to take it. You that listening communication go hand in hand. I'm going to listen to what you have to say, just like I expect you to listen to what I have to say, because that's respect. I'm
Right.
going to add with us listening, I'm going to also expect you to understand where I'm coming from, because I'm going to understand where you're coming from.
Right.
And as I'm talking to you, just like I would want somebody to talk to me, I want you to use a tone of voice and certain words to where I'm not going to get offended. Because ultimately, when you're doing these things with people, you need to treat them how you want to be treated.
Right.
If I was to go to my wife and tell her I had a problem with what she was doing, and I said just like that, I have a problem with what you're doing, or why did you do this like this, or why is that like that? Look how I'm talking. So if
Right.
she was to come at me saying something like that, I'm gonna get offended. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Right.
When I can just be like, hey Pookie, can we sit down and talk about something real quick? How you talk to somebody, as far as listening, understanding the words you use, the tone of voice you use, that all goes in hand. And ultimately, going back to the original topic, if you have all of these things and your self work done, maybe, because there may be some people out there who feel like they don't have a lot to be happy about, maybe you may find some happiness. Maybe you may find some peace.
Right.
Maybe you may have some more moments where you can smile more,
Right.
because it takes a lot. Nobody's saying that you have to be perfect,
Right.
but you got to put the work in to have all of this happiness and all this peace.
Right.
And it can be done. It's going to take a long time sometimes, but it can definitely be done.
Right.
So I think that's important.
All right, you guys. So this episode is coming to an end. Again, my name is Kay Leon.
Again, I am Tajan, and we also want to thank our sponsor for today's podcast, Elegantly Melanated. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all at elegantly.melanated. So be sure to go check out all the products that they have.
Right. All right, y'all. We love you, and we will see you. I'm sorry. You will hear from us next week. Thank you guys for tuning in.